Okay. Do you have your ID with you, Jeff?
I do have my ID, yes.
Okay. Can I take a look at it?
I'd rather you not.
Okay.
Am I suspected of a crime?
From the city ordinance.
What crime
Yeah.
am I suspected of?
You just said solicitation.
Yeah, I'm soliciting.
Now, if you're here protesting, but if you're right here asking for money, then it's
Doesn't make a difference. They're both protected by the First Amendment.
It's considered panhandling.
In this encounter, an unidentified citizen firmly challenges Officer Tinn and Corporal Silus on the legality of ID demands and panhandling restrictions. The conversation escalates as the citizen cites federal court rulings and warns of constitutional violations. What begins as a routine contact turns into a powerful stand for free speech and civil rights. Do you believe asserting your rights calmly can truly change how officers act? Or does power always push back? Watch till the end to see how this exchange reveals the real boundary between authority and freedom, analyzed in depth by ID Refusal Pro. Support the original creator and learn from this real-world lesson.
How you doing, sir?
All right, sir. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. What's going on?
Not much. Are you out here asking for money or
I'm not answering any questions or anything like that, okay?
do what?
I'm soliciting, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that out here on the street because it causes a traffic hazard. So,
Soliciting is free speech. It's protected by the First Amendment.
okay.
So if it's protected by the First Amendment, that means I can do it.
It's city ordinance states you cannot do it.
Yeah, freedom of speech is Constitution, so it's kind of bigger than a city ordinance, right? And my name is Jeff, by the way.
Officer Gwen.
Officer Quinn? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to be out here for about 45 minutes and I'll be on my way. It's free speech. So I don't really think there's nothing you can lawfully do about it. Not lawfully.
Not lawfully.
Officer Tinn questions Jeff for standing on the sidewalk with a sign, claiming that soliciting causes a traffic hazard and may violate city ordinances. Jeff immediately asserts that soliciting and panhandling fall under free expression protected by the First Amendment, which guarantees the right to speak, protest, or request assistance on public property. Under U.S.V. Kashinda, 1990, and Reed v. Town of Gilbert, 2015, local ordinances cannot override constitutional free speech rights unless narrowly tailored to a legitimate safety concern. Tinn's claim lacks probable cause. No obstruction or safety risk is evident, so detaining or forcing identification would breach the Fourth Amendment, protection against unreasonable seizures. Jeff correctly distinguishes lawful presence on a public sidewalk from loitering or trespass. Citizens should remain calm, cite the First Amendment, and decline ID requests unless officers articulate a specific crime. Asserting rights firmly but respectfully ensures legal protection and accountability.
Okay. Do you have your ID with you, Jeff?
I do have my ID, yes.
Okay. Can I take a look at it?
I'd rather you not.
Okay.
Am I suspected of a crime?
From the city ordinance.
What crime am
Yeah.
I suspected of?
You just said solicitation.
Yeah, I'm soliciting.
Now, if you're here protesting, but if you're right here asking for money, then it's
Doesn't make a difference. They're both protected by the First Amendment.
it's considered panhandling.
Panhandling is protected by free speech. Panhandling is a First Amendment protected activity. Okay? So I put you on notice about that. It's a constitutionally protected right. The courts have ruled that panhandling is a charitable appeal for funds. And I put you on notice about that. So if you do anything that's
Okay,
going to...
you put me on notice about
So if you
that?
do anything that's going to violate... Just listen to me. If you do anything to violate my civil rights, you'll be held accountable. And your qualified immunity won't survive it. Okay? I'm not going anywhere. Have a nice day.
Officer Tinn requests Jeff's identification without citing a specific crime, which directly conflicts with Terry v. Ohio, 1968, and Hybel v. 6th Judicial District Court of Nevada, 2004. Both cases establish that an officer must have reasonable suspicion of a crime before compelling ID. Jeff correctly challenges the legality of the stop, emphasizing that panhandling and peaceful solicitation are protected under the First Amendment. His statement about qualified immunity signals awareness that any unlawful detention may expose Tinn to civil liability under 42 U.S.C. S1903-3. The officer's insistence without articulable cause risks turning a consensual encounter into an unlawful detention, violating the Fourth Amendment. Jeff's firm but non-aggressive response is legally sound. Citizens should ask, am I being detained or am I free to go? If no crime is cited, refusal to provide ID is lawful, and remaining calm prevents escalation or charges of obstruction.
You seem like a really nice guy. I'm not trying to be difficult with you. I'm just standing up for my civil rights, okay? I'm not trying to be difficult, but I'm standing up for my civil rights.
It appears that you are trying to be difficult.
Well, if it's difficult,
Because
go.
you came out here.
Yeah, I came out
And
here.
it's like you came out here not so much as a person who is panhandling, but as a person who wants the interaction with law enforcement so that you can
Okay, well, let's say if I
so
did
that
want to
you
hear.
can become difficult,
Well,
when dealing with me.
well, I'm not trying. Like I said, I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm
Okay.
standing for my civil rights. If that's
But-
difficult, then I'm going to be difficult.
Well, standing for your civil rights, I'm all in support with that.
Yes, sir.
But all in support with that.
I'm sorry.
Okay. All in support with that.
Uh-huh.
And if you're homeless vet, or God bless the homeless vets, I think that my personal and professional opinion is that we should definitely look out for a homeless vet.
I agree.
I'm a veteran. Okay?
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. And I was homeless. So yeah,
Oh, okay. Wow.
definitely had
Okay.
strong feelings about that.
All right.
Okay.
Glad things turned out better for
And
you.
say again,
I'm glad things worked out for you.
you did. You did. Really well, actually.
Yeah.
About,
Good. Praise God.
about 40 years ago.
Praise God. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Praise God.
A little less than 40 years. Yes. But if you're exercising of your free speech, which I don't have an issue with, was intended to
Officer Tinn interprets Jeff's calm insistence on his rights as being difficult, a common mischaracterization when citizens assert constitutional boundaries. Jeff's reply, if standing for my rights is difficult, then I'll be difficult, underscores that asserting civil rights is not obstruction. Under U.S. Constitution, First and Fourth Amendments, citizens have the right to refuse unlawful questioning or ID demands. Tinn's assumption reflects a police visas law conflict, where professional authority clashes with individual liberty. Once Jeff identifies himself as a veteran, the tone shifts, showing that understanding and empathy can de-escalate encounters more effectively than authority. Legally, Jeff's behavior remains protected. He neither obstructed nor interfered with police duties. The proper action in such cases is to remain firm, cite the First Amendment, and document the encounter, ensuring accountability without hostility, a balance between exercising rights and maintaining public order.
Right. Well, one of the things that I am doing is, like we were discussing, panhandling has been ruled by federal courts all across the land. It is free speech. It's somebody asking for help. Therefore, it cannot be outlawed, regardless of whether there's a city ordinance for it or not. If there's a city ordinance prohibiting panhandling, where somebody's just asking for help, not when somebody's being aggressive or trying to take something,
Right.
that would be a
Right.
crime. But just somebody saying, "Hey, can you help me out? Can you help a guy out?" That's free speech. That should never be outlawed. So there's a lot of city ordinances that are still on the books. But I'm going around exposing that too. That there's city
Okay.
ordinances.
and there are ways that you can do that.
Mhm.
That I mean, I don't know if you've gone to city council meetings or anything like that, or had that type of engagement.
Well, one of the things I do is I do go to city halls. I go to city halls all across the Southeast, and I spread this message there. And unfortunately, even there on City Hall, at the steps of City Hall, at a traditional public forum, I've been arrested 7 times doing this. So,
Okay.
and then what I do is I file a lawsuit. And if there is a city ordinance, I've gotten those city ordinances overturned and revoked. I don't want to get arrested, but that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to raise awareness for the homeless veterans. And one of the things that a homeless veteran may do is come out and ask for help.
Right.
And we should never outlaw a homeless veteran asking for help, trying to get help.
Right.
Yeah, as long as it's
And that is-
in a peaceful
That
manner.
is something we, law enforcement,
God bless homeless veterans.
have generally a good rapport with our homeless community because we try to get, whether it's psychological help. Hey, this officer Silus.
Silus. So Jeff, how you doing?
I'm sorry, Corporal Silus.
Corporal.
Yeah, but is to try to provide safe environment for whatever condition, too hot condition, too cold condition, and even if they are panhandling,
Mhm.
generally they're wanting that help. They're wanting to get that, I guess, assistance so that they can get into a warm, dry, safe environment. There's a lot of others that's not their desire.
Right. Well, yeah. Some of them just
You
want.
know,
Yeah.
and
But I'll go tell you, I am not homeless myself.
okay,
I am not taking money, but I am soliciting goodwill and compassion for the homeless vets. That's
okay.
what I'm doing. So I'm engaged
Okay.
in constitution protected activity. So I'd rather not give any ID or anything like that. Okay.
Okay.
All
All right. Yep. And you've explained yourself well. And you were on
Charlie 26,
public property.
Charlie 11.
You're, so long as you're not causing traffic hazards.
Yep. I have no
not
intention to do that at all.
Panhandling, getting out, or aggressively.
Units, Charlie 22
Uh,
as well. If you will, I'll respond to this agency.
We don't-
ECU 6278 Remote
Our,
Circle.
let's say,
VCU
policy
is in
standpoint
pursuit of the 1092
is
suspect from
we're not
landmark.
going to get overly involved with it.
Okay.
But if you do become aggressive, or if you do become a hazard to traffic, then we have to.
I understand. I have no intention to
It's
do that.
interfering with other
Urgent
I understand.
other avenues.
I understand.
The I am going to check with supervisors and see what they want me to. As far as my knowledge, you are not doing the panhandling, which is deemed to be against city ordinance.
Right. And,
Okay.
and my side is it's
Yeah.
a First Amendment protected
Right.
activity.
And I
Constitutionally
understand.
protected.
And I understand that. And I've sworn to uphold the Constitution, laws of the state of Alabama, and city ordinances, city of Tuscaloosa.
Mhm.
And so that's what I try to do. To the best that I can. And don't have an issue with someone exercising their freedom of
Awesome.
speech.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. But I will contact the supervisor and see how he
All
wants
right.
me to
And like I said, my name is
proceed
Jeff. You're Officer
It is a
G-U-I-N-N?
G, but
Okay. And
Yeah.
S-I-L-A-S. Silence. Okay.
Yeah.
My name is Jeff.
Okay. All right, Jeff. Let me talk with the supervisor.
Understood?
Hopefully, I'll be able to get out of here.
All right. All right.
And the issue is that one of the businesses called.
Yeah, this gentleman here. He tried to run me off, and I said, "Hey, I have a right to be on the sidewalk." And he said, "Well, I'm gonna call the cops." And I'm like,
there's no call for it. So
Yeah.
just bystanders or whatever. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
"Right,
Right. So
And
you make, please make it out with you again.
understood."
But
you're on public property. You are not impeding the flow of traffic, sidewalk. As long as you just conduct yourself in a
I
Yes, a
always
civil
intend to be
manner.
peaceful and polite and do my thing. All right,
All right. Let me contact the supervisor,
All right.
and I'll get back with you
Understood.
in just a moment. Yeah.
understood.
Oh, you about to leave? Yeah, I am. I'm sorry, I've got a lot.
We're good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, look,
All right.
take care.
Well, you
Stay
take
safe
care
out
of
there.
yourself. Take care.
Jeff cites federal court precedents affirming that panhandling and charitable solicitation are protected under the First Amendment, referencing the same principles upheld in Clatterbuck v. City of Charlottesville, 2013, and Norton v. City of Springfield, 2015. Officer Silus, joining the discussion, acknowledges Jeff's reasoning and shifts the encounter toward dialogue rather than enforcement. The officers ultimately recognize that Jeff, who is not homeless but advocating for homeless veterans, is engaged in constitutionally protected activity, no obstruction, threat, or criminal act occurs, making detention or citation unlawful under 42 U.S.C. S 1983. This resolution exemplifies the proper conduct when citizens exercise free speech peacefully. Police must respect those rights within the limits of safety. The encounter ends with mutual respect, proof that understanding the law over authority maintains both order and liberty in public spaces. Officer Tinn and Corporal Silus ultimately respected the boundaries of the law and disengaged appropriately. Their conduct earns a grade B as they corrected their approach after recognizing Jeff's lawful position. Jeff demonstrated strong constitutional understanding and restraint, deserving an A. The key laws applied were the First Amendment protecting free speech and charitable solicitation, and 42 U.C. SS 1983, which safeguards citizens against unlawful deprivation of rights. The correct legal response in similar situations is to remain calm, cite constitutional rights, and record the encounter without escalating. This case proves that informed citizens and professional officers can turn confrontation into education. Support ID Refusal Pro and the original channel to continue spreading lawful awareness and practical lessons that protect public freedom.